So whenever I see a very popular celebrity do a basic bitch interview, mainly with GQ, I'm somehow intrigued. But for the first time, a big idea really inspired me that was not from GQ. Instead, it was from Teen Vogue, a series called The Playlist of My Life, in which popular celebrities describe their life based on songs, mainly boring ones that no one knows. I thought that was very interesting and figured I should do one of my own, but mainly use popular songs that all you guys have to know, unless you have very poor music taste. So without further ado, let's get this on right away, because I installed Spotify for this. Alright, this is gonna be unscripted now. I am on Spotify right now. Yeah, take a look at my amazing music tastes. And we're going to be creating a playlist. Right here, playlist number 9. Damn, I made a lot of playlists. How do you alright, there we go. We call it the playlist of my life. Alright, so in order for this to be an actual playlist about my life, we have to do this in chronological order. So, what song should we add for the birthing phase? Let's see, which one should I add? I know. It's gonna be this song for the beginning of my life. Alright, so I chose this song because this song was very nostalgic for me. And I remember my mom playing the hell out of the song when I was little. I also remember the song being very scarce because of the fact that Jay-Z did something, made all the songs exclusive to a platform. So the chance of listening to the song was very, very rare. So, yeah, for the sake of how nostalgic it is, and because it was one of the very first songs I ever listened to, that my little baby ears ever heard, I'm adding this as the first song of my life, the birthing phase. Now, the second song would be when I start walking. I know, it's gonna be this song.
Damn all these beautiful girls.
Alright, so I added this song because, again, like Empire State of Mind, I found this song to be very nostalgic. And I remember listening to the song a lot by the time I was going to preschool, specifically in the house when I'm just bored. I just hear this on the radio a lot. I really like this song. By the way, I was born in 2004, so yeah, I'm a Gen Z person. Well, no shit I am. Going to preschool, that would be the next phase. I'm old enough to go to preschool. Now, what would it be? I know. This is Home by Cavetown.
I'll hide my chest and I'll figure out a way to get us out of here.
I remember this song very fondly months ago when I was in my little lone wolf phase. That phase was the longest phase I ever had. It lasted from 2016 up until last month, actually. This song I remember listening to a lot because my brother showed me Cavetown and I've gotten obsessed with them. Obsessed as in, I listened to 2 songs from them very, very often. And this was one of the many songs. Gaming. Gaming was a very big thing in my life. And I started gaming by the time I went to preschool. Now, what would be the phase that best fits... What would be the song that best fits this little event? I know. This song.
Everyone tries to hold on to their life when no one's alive.
Now you may be thinking, why such an aggressive song as a main part of your life when you were little? Well, I chose this song because this is from a game called Call of Duty, and I remember loving this song so much when I found the Easter egg for it while playing Call of Duty at the age of 9. Yes, I played it at such a very young age. Big parenting there. Actually, Minecraft is in itself a big thing in my life because if it wasn't for Minecraft, I would be very depressed. Minecraft is my favorite game of all time in terms of the impact it had. So what song would be best for this little event when I found Minecraft? I got it. It only makes sense. This would be the song that would... Was this really a song? It's on Spotify. It's a song. My 10th birthday. I remember this because this was when I became woke. So what would be the song to best describe the fact that I became woke at this age? I know. Hiss! Not that one. That one.
We gon' light it up like it's dynamite.
I can already hear the pitchfork starting. Now, I chose this song, despite how much annoying it is to everyone, I chose this song because of how much of a nostalgic thing it is for me. Especially when I'm on the bus. Every time I went on the bus, I had this bus driver, I would play the radio. And every time he put on the radio, this song would always be playing. I always loved that. And now it's a very nostalgic song for me. Whenever I think about it, I think of elementary school. Around some time, my sister got a Nintendo DS. And when I saw it, I instantly fell in love with it. I played many games on there, such as Flipno and Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Anniversary. I made a separate video dedicated to Flipno. If you want, go check that out, I guess. So what would be best fit, what would be best fit for this? I know. There we go. I'm everything. Why that song under everything when it comes to Nintendo?
Like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us.
Well, because on Flipnote, this song was a very popular use around Flipnote Hatana. Everyone was using this song, and you could never hear a Flipnote without hearing that. I really, like, it just grew on me at one point, so yeah, that's why I'm adding this. Now, you may have noticed this blemish. I'm gonna add that. Another thing, why? Well, another thing that was part of my life besides gaming was TV.
If you want it all, lay it on the line. It's the only life you got, so you gotta live it big time.
I remember watching Noggin, Boomerang, Nickelodeon, and Cartoon Network. Mainly Nickelodeon. I was always a Nickelodeon guy rather than a Cartoon Network guy. In fact, I disliked Cartoon Network. I still do to this day. Now, why? Well, I'll explain that in a separate video. But for now, due to how much of an impact it's had, I'm adding this show on here because I really love that show. I still watch it. It's still a decent show despite your age. Disaster struck. The recording stopped. I finished my playlist too. What am I gonna do? I'll just describe every song that I added. So here we go. I replaced the second track with a song from Over the Hedge. It's a really good movie, you have to watch it. Well, the track was called Family of Me. I added this because I figured this would be a more better song for the beginning of my little feed self. I added this because I really loved that movie when I was little. I still do to this day. Again, it's a very good movie, you have to watch it. Yes, it's a furry movie.
'Cause I've always got my family of me.
The next song I added was I Got a Feeling.
That tonight's gonna be a good night. I feel it.
I added this song because this was one of the time in which I really started getting into music that my mom would play off of her phone or from the TV because we had a TV channel that would play music 24/7. I forgot what the channel was called, but it was very underrated compared to MTV. The next song I added was a song from, get this, One Direction. I'm thinking, why did I add One Direction into this? Well, it's because this was at a time in which I started standing for One Direction along with my cousin. This is at a time in which One Direction ruled the fucking world. So, I added What Makes You Beautiful by One Direction.
You don't know, you don't know you're beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful.
The next song I added was, well, it was interesting. This was at a time in which my depression started coming, specifically at 6th grade. This was when I started being a bit gloomy. So, I added another Cave Town song called Boys Will Be Bugs.
Ain't that how it's supposed to be? Though it isn't me, boys will be bugs, right?
The next song I added was, well, I wouldn't think this was meant to happen, but I guess this happened because my sister started listening to a new genre of music known as metal. And I happened to eavesdrop a lot of it and started getting addicted to the genre. So, the very first metal song I listened to will be added to this playlist known as A Little Piece of Heaven by Avenged Sevenfold.
'Cause I was all up in a piece of heaven while you burned in hell, no peace forever.
To this day, I still listen to rock. I absolutely love rock. The next song I added was a song that, well, I kind of relate to. I think me from 6th grade would love this song as well. This was at a time in which I found out I was not straight. It's called I Don't Want to Be You Anymore by Billie Eilish.
If I love you was a promise,
next song I added was a song which I added because I felt like it best fit the situation I was in. This was at the time which I went to middle school. Yeah, we're getting older now. It is called Changes by David Bowie. That song I added was, well, quite a dark place for me. This was 8th grade, and this is at a time in which I was broken. I'll Be Missing You by Puff Daddy.
What a life to take, what a bond to break, I'll be missing you.
I added this song because, well, by the time I hit 8th grade and I was about to graduate, my uncle passed away. This was unexpected, and this was especially at a time in which I didn't think any of my family would die. This was the very first time a family member that I loved truly died. So I was broken. Which leads me to the next track, Void by Lil Nas X. I added this because this was at the peak of my depression. I was borderline suicidal. This was truly an age in which I was just hopeless. Then comes the final track of my depression. Not the final track, the final track of my depression. This was added because this was at a time in high school. I finally went to high school, but still felt completely broken. You by Kendrick Lamar. Now here we go at our second to last track. This is at a time in which I started becoming a bit better. Sophomore year. This was at a time in which, coronavirus happened. We were all quarantined. Well, I mean, we still are, but it's not as much. Everything I Wanted by Billie Eilish.
As long as I'm here, no one can hurt you.
I added the track because I started getting a bit better. I started loving myself more. I started to feel like everything was going to be alright. Which leads me to the last track, Present Day Me, Junior Year. The closing track to this amazing playlist would be, rightfully, Montero, Call Me By Your Name by Lil Nas X.
Call me by your name. Tell me you love me in private.
I added this track because when I first listened to it the very first time when it came out, it really changed my life. I'm not exaggerating, that it really did. Because at the time, I didn't feel like someone would connect to me. A big gay furry. This song really made me feel like I was proud of myself. But so with that out of the way, the playlist is done. That's the entire playlist of my life. Best part of all this is that you can listen to the playlist in the description below or in the comments section. So with that out of the way, I can end this video off on a good note. So thank you guys for watching, comment, subscribe, you can bark at me on Discord. But for now, keep focusing.